Hello guys, welcome back to
our YouTube channel, guys. We love you guys. So just know, welcome back, guys. If it's your first time, please subscribe, like, comment, tell a friend that the Ekimas are back in the building.
Yes guys, I'm so excited. My husband just came back from 1 week. Being away for 1 week.
I missed you, baby.
We missed you too, but usually the weird thing is...
I said I missed you.
Okay, I missed you, but I was...
These are the things we're talking about.
Kids coming in the way.
Kids coming in the way, man.
But yeah, I missed you. We missed you. The weird thing usually is that when my husband comes back, so he travels a lot. Like in a month, he'll travel for like 2 weeks, 1 whole week he's away, then he comes back in the next week. The weird thing is when he comes back, because the kids have missed him so much, they don't even want to know me. I was literally tying on these kids, trying to be like, guys, you have been my best friend.
Guys, I'm a good dad. I'm a sweet dad. And a sweet husband.
Yes, you are, my love. You are so sweet. So guys, okay, back to what brought us. In this video, we are discussing intertribal marriages. We did a part 1, we are doing a part 2.
Yeah.
In the part 1, we discussed why the questions you asked about our marriage. Being married, I am a Munyankole, Muhima, and he is an Itosot from Eastern Uganda.
From Kumi specifically.
Yes, and so we answered those questions, and in this video we are tackling the questions you asked us, your personal experiences that you need advice on. One of them was...
1, my parents have refused me to marry
somebody
from
another tribe.
That I
love. Number 2, you are already married. You managed to get married even though you're intermarried, but your parents are becoming a challenge. They are saying, no.
Yeah.
This woman you brought us, she can't even speak the language. They're giving her eyes, or you are the woman or the man, and they're giving you eyes, and they're saying, you know, when kids something, you see, another tribe. So we are tackling those issues in this video. Please stay tuned. Let's get right
into it.
Christ in the center. Welcome to forever. This is our perfect synchrony, like leather and feathers. No matter the weather, we can storm the umbrellas. Take a stroll in my heart. Let's take this further when I'm beside you, baby. See my stakes get better. Let me bet it all. Destiny vendettas. Rosy day emotional description of this love. I am yours, you are mine. The only thing that matters now. We are the Ekimas.
Welcome back.
Yeah.
Baby, we're going to be talking about those that want to get married, but their parents are refusing them to get married. Okay. 1, I feel like it's wrong for a parent to refuse a child to marry, because I mean that is a lifetime commitment. We have talked about it. Love is a lifetime. Marriage is a lifetime commitment. So
and you'll be in it alone.
And you're going to be in it alone. So yes, much as your parents may have a say, but they must also look at you. What are your interests? If they do not want A, why don't they want A?
Just tribe.
Is it because that tribe? Then that's a bit weird. Because very many people, and we shared it. Very many people, parents will tell you to get married to somebody, and somebody, your daughter, by the parents, this goes to the parents. Your daughter is out there with somebody because you don't love the other tribe. You want a certain tribe, and the girl or the guy is there suffering. Because parents, you've made.
Of course, eventually you're in the marriage alone.
Yes. Because at the end of it all, you leave. Then everyone will leave, and it is the two of you. So I feel like it's a bit rude to deny. I think because of a tribe, it's very important for you to know that which kind of person is my daughter marrying. And when we go to the Bible is very clear and very elaborate to that. As long as somebody is a believer, that's the only thing. As long as somebody is a believer, then it's okay. Do not marry an unbeliever. That's what the Bible says. Do not marry
someone
an
actually on
unbeliever.
Instagram said that they would consider tribe because the values are different. But there's a difference between values and say cultural practices.
Yes. Yeah.
Values that you should not compromise if your values are different. But I think that's not an issue of tribe. That's an issue of that's a person's issue. If their values are shaky or they are non-believers, that has nothing to do with their tribe.
True.
Or if they're worshipping small gods, then Definitely.
And that's an unbeliever.
Yeah.
So the Bible is clear on that. It says, do not marry an unbeliever. It doesn't say, do not marry this tribe, do not marry this person because of their disability, do not marry this person because of status, maybe they're poor, they're rich,
and someone
whatever,
actually,
whatever. Really, the Bible does not say. But it's a personal choice that you make. Either you're going to marry somebody because of, maybe you say you want the money, you want this, but it goes back to why you love the person. So I believe parents should have a dialogue, should talk. Tribe is a small thing. We don't decide. Love decides to take you where you want.
That's true.
Yeah. So
How would you advise now?
My
that
advice,
person who is
yes.
in that
My
situation?
advice that I would advise such a person is, number one, try to engage your parent, get to know why they are saying so, then try to interest them that, much as you're saying that this person is this, I think what stands out for me and what I want as a person, I want this. I want a person who is a Christian. My man or my woman is a Christian.
So highlight the positives.
Yes, highlight the positives. Say, yes, you may say this tribe is this, but this person is different.
They are this and
Because the parent may say, last time I had somebody from this tribe, I don't want to use that tribe, or any tribe. So these people of this tribe, they are abusive. But your spouse might be different. So highlight that to your parent, that my spouse is different. It's not this, it's not what other people are.
Yeah.
So make your case and encourage them, tell them that, at the end of it all, it's for the two of us. It's for the two of us, you and your husband. That you may want me to marry a person from this way, but what if that's not the person God has made for me? In our scenario, me and my lovely baby here.
Yeah.
So God spoke about us. Not that we had resistance, but God had spoken about it.
I feel like it, and that's another point.
Yeah.
To first continue,
Good
but I wanted to
example.
say that when God is involved and you
Yeah.
are praying about it,
Yes.
God will make things to happen in your favor. Like
Absolutely.
even the most very rigid traditions.
Yeah.
I mean, I come from a place where people are not my immediate family, but I mean, people are strict on it. And even your family, by the way, they are very okay. Your culture, there are also people who have their culture. So, but somehow things worked out. There were people who had their opinions, but somehow their opinions were ignored. Like things just worked out, and I strongly believe that it was because of prayer.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
And your family is just sweet. My wife has the best. I have the best in-laws.
Thank you.
Yeah, your siblings, your mother, your father, wow, perfect people.
Yeah, and that doesn't mean
And
we
those
didn't
are
have
the
resistance.
yeah, and those are the people that matter, really.
That's true.
Those are the people who matter. What does your father have to say? Not the uncle, auntie. Okay, yes, they may have their say, but at the end of it all,
Some people might
most
have to just
important, you may just have to ignore. The most important person is your parents. What do they say? And maybe you try to convince them. So my wife has already put that other point, that prayer. Pray, God makes a way. Yes.
Yeah, so for me what I would say is, one, I want us to also look at the parents. So I don't think, majority, most of the parents really are not like mean. They are not out there to frustrate you, to make your life hard. Some of them come from a place of, they want the best for you. They want the best for you. So even as they say, don't marry from this tribe, it's because of what they think of it. Some of them have been, they're not exposed.
Yeah,
they only know their community. If they're in the village, they've only interacted with Vanyankore or Itesuits. They don't know anything outside.
Outside, yeah.
They are not as exposed as you are. We met in school.
Yeah.
Probably if I was living in my village in Chiruhura, Kazo, I wouldn't have
That's
come
true.
across them. So we are exposed compared to them. And others might be exposed, but they've chosen to just restrict themselves. They've probably traveled all over and done everything, but they've just chosen to be in that circle. And so you need to also understand where they're coming from. Get to know what are their fears. Like what you're saying, is there fear that maybe these people are like this, or they might not? Bring those fear, bring this family home. Let them understand that it's different. It is very, very important that you interact with the family.
Yeah.
You are not going to convince anyone that your relationship is stable if you yourselves are not stable. If you're not sure of your relationship with this person, who are you
Good
going to
point, baby.
convince? You
That's a
cannot
good one, yeah.
convince your family if you yourself you are
You're
not
not sure.
very sure. So be sure about the decision you're making as a person. Once you are sure with it, then approach
Yes.
from a place of confidence. I've said that we had asked God, we knew for a fact that we were meant to be married. So with that confidence, even when people told me, you know this and this and that, I was not shaken because I knew we had prayed over it. I had fully understood my husband. Also get to know the person. Don't just get to know the husband. Go ahead and know his family as well.
Yes.
Interact with the family. Some of these fears that the parents have could be true. I mean, it might not even be about because of the tribe, but that very family could be having, you know.
Yes. They have
Get to
an
know.
experience.
Yeah, get to know. Go far. So that by the time you come to your parents, you have your facts clear.
Yeah, you have your facts.
You have your facts clear, like what you were saying. And then number two, what I also wanted to talk about is do not have this thing of don't feel negative about your parents. I'm sure they mean well. And then if, for example,
Understand
in
their
our side,
fears.
yes, understand their fears, get to know it, but approach, so that way you're able to approach it from a place of, you know what they're dealing with, so let me mitigate these fears. Then number two, in our case, we are not going to say that it was smooth. Okay, it was smooth for us because our immediate family was positive about it.
So
But we
they're loving.
have had relatives who are not okay. And I think now we are transitioning to the question of how about when you are now married. Someone said that they don't look forward to seeing their in-laws because of the language issue. And when they go to see the in-laws are just like, you're proud, that's why you can't speak our language. What I'm going to say, number one, is that the truth is that people are toxic. Sometimes, because the other question they're asking is the immediate family, let's say it's the immediate family, which is refusing. Sometimes you have to cut off people. You have to love people from afar.
Yeah.
Whoever that is toxic, and by toxic I mean they are getting to the core of your relationship. Someone was asking me, was telling me that, you know, the husband's mom was talking to the son and telling her, you know, this woman you married, this one was even a better match for you and all that. But I asked her, how come that person was comfortable talking that to your spouse? Some people we have to love from afar, even when it's a toxic family member, however close. I'm going to be honest, they are relatives. I think this is not what we They are relatives who've had to say, you know what, I will love you from afar.
From afar, yeah.
And once you set that boundary,
and baby, let me come again. Let me firstly listen. It's more important is that to know where it's coming from. If anything happened that my family members or my relatives have an issue with my wife, I will have to stand up for my wife.
yeah,
And set the record clear. Because for me, I'm their son. At the end of it all,
and I think
whether they have an issue with me or not, like I will have to come in for my spouse. And this goes out to the men, even the ladies. When something is happening, they're talking about your spouse, your husband, someone. It is your duty to rebuke, to set the boundaries to your relatives, to tell them, you know what, this is my relationship.
you don't say
You
everything
have no
about
say
my
in my
wife.
relationship. You don't say this about. And once you set those boundaries clear, trust me, they will start fearing. They will not want to poke their. I don't want them to use that thing into your business. So they will have to avoid.
I know this sounds mean.
Yeah, but it's real.
But
It's
sometimes
real,
you have to,
Yeah.
and it's not in a rude way. It shouldn't be rude or
Yeah, it
you're
shouldn't be
cutting
rude,
off.
yeah.
But I think most times, and I think you should speak to that baby, especially for the men. There's a tendency for women to feel like lines are blurred, and you as the person on the other end, you cannot come in to say, like there's like fighting, as if conflict, but no one wants to talk about it. Even the man sees it, but he can't address it. Even what do you have to say about that?
Actually, that's where problems come from. The moment a man does not want to talk about issues, baby, because you must confront whenever you see something going wrong. You see, baby, I told you that in some of our videos we showed I will always advise a new couple newly wedded couple, new married people, that the first 3 to 2 years, spend time alone. Get to know your spouse, get to know your wife, get to know their weaknesses, get to know. Of course, it's a learning process. You may not know all, but don't allow anybody to come and say, this. I've seen it from experience. Every person, as long as you stay with an in-law in their house, somehow, even maybe somebody will start either comparing. There are those who are okay, but some will start comparing maybe the way you're doing things. Oh, she doesn't know how to cook this food. Oh, she doesn't know how to mop the house. She doesn't know. I mean, people marry for different reasons, by the way. For you ladies, if you don't know, somebody may marry somebody, he is not interested whether she knows how to clean, but all he loves is about, the most important thing to him is the food that she cooks for him. Another one will marry, yes. Say,
this is quite, these opinions are not common.
No. Different men have different reasons why. Somebody can be like, me, I will love, no matter what things, challenges she has. Like that one thing stands out for him and he's like, I love my wife because of A, B, C, D. Yes. So
I think let's qualify why we are saying that those first years, it's not good to bring in people. I don't know if 3 years is a long time or 2. I don't know. You decide in your setting.
Yeah.
But we were advised during marriage counseling, and the first year at least do not, even the second. So the reason we are not saying break families or what, no. The reason we're saying that is that at that time you do not know your person well. You are trying to still cultivate and know, especially if you're marrying across the tribe. The person is not yet, does not fully understand.
Yes.
What is this I'm getting into? Who is this person? How different are they? Now, you don't want other opinions to come and tell you who the person is. Because we've seen those things. Someone comes, lives in the house, and always tells you, she doesn't do this. Or if you choose to, because sometimes it's inevitable. Maybe they have to look after the parent, and we're not saying refuse to look after people because of that. These rules have exceptions. But when you do be sensitive about such things, let boundaries be drawn.
Yeah.
Let people know how they can communicate with your spouse. So anyway, let's come back to the issue of tribe. So another thing that I've noticed, I think, is people lack interest. So I had an engagement on my account, and there's a tendency you want to marry in this tribe, but you don't want to make any effort to learn about the culture. Someone says, I don't like the fact that languages are not the same and they're always picking up the language. But have you considered to learn the language?
Yes.
Because as you marry, you must be ready to accept the culture that you've gone into. You have to be willing to compromise, to learn.
And that's love, guys.
We've shared in that.
Marriage,
yes,
that's
it's
compromise.
And it's not just even in tribal marriages. How do you marry into a culture? We've seen these things. Even like whites, I'm sorry to sound, but I'm going to give an example. There's a company in quotes where some people are employed and these people are of a certain race. I'm now speaking in parable. But they came into Uganda, but the way they treat the Ugandans and people from that side, they've come into Uganda, they are working here, they are operating from here, they are investing here. But the way they are treating Ugandans is different from the way they are treating people from their country. They do not, if it's time for maybe burial or weddings, they don't want to attend them. They have not fully accepted the culture, but they are here. And when I heard of that story, I realized that it's the same as marriage. You cannot marry someone and say you want the husband, but not his culture.
Not his culture.
That one is that is a recipe for disaster.
I think maybe also let me just, sorry to cut you short. The one thing that is important, you need to know your spouse. Sometimes people, women mainly, wives, you'll want to please the clan and forget your main objective. Maybe say your guy, you want to show the clan that I can do this, I can do this, I can do this. But you're forgetting your main purpose, your main person. That, okay, my man, what does my man want? Because I think at the end of it all, what does your man want? What does your wife want? That should guide whatever you do. And learning, as you've said, learning each other's language. It's important to. It's important too. As we said in the previous video, we are pushing. We're work in progress.
Yeah, it's you have to learn the culture.
You have to learn
make
the culture,
it easy for you.
You learn the language. I mean, we do it. You go to a foreign country, you go to
You
China,
learn the
you
language.
learn Chinese. You go to France, you learn French. You go
Most
to
of us have come into
Yes.
Uganda. I'm not a Uganda, he's not a Uganda, but we
Yes,
speak
we know
Luganda.
Yes, I've seen Indians in Teso speaking Ateso. Speaking Ateso, and you're like, wow, okay. So it's about blending in, but pressure must not be there. Rome was not built in one day.
Yeah, at your own
Don't allow pressures, and don't allow that to affect you. That because this one is if this one says okay, you say that, but also you're not learning this. Don't allow the pressure to get into you. So that I think is my advice to any person who's going through pressures. Don't allow the pressures to come to you.
Some chicken wing.
Guys, you see my baby here when we were ordering, she said, I'm not
I don't want
eating.
to eat.
I want a milkshake. We men. We love you
Who
anyway.
else? It's their husband's food. But anyway, guys, so the thing I want to talk about is that most of these really, I feel, are in-law issues. Not so much intertribal issues.
And I think we should discuss that.
We are going to discuss it, but I just want to say that there's a tendency to say, oh, it's complicated because then languages, because there's no marriage where you are not going to have to tolerate the other family, because no family is the same as the other.
Yeah, that's
If it's not the language, you're going to find they're doing certain things there. You have to blend in.
Yes.
So I don't think it's an intertribal issue. I think it's most of these are cultural issues. So the other question I wanted to ask as we conclude is someone asked that they are married to someone of their tribe, but because she grew up in a city, she did not learn the language. She's not say a Munyankole, married to a Munyankole, but she doesn't speak Runyankole. So every time they go for family events, they're just like, who is this? How can she not even know her language? What? So it's taking a toll on her. For all their marriage, what would you say to that person?
Well, I would advise you one, don't allow that pressure to
Yeah, we have control over what.
I mean, you allow
affects
what
us.
affects. If somebody is bringing the pressure, please try to neglect them or try to stay away, stay apart from them.
Boundaries.
Yes, stay boundaries.
Love them from afar.
Yeah, love them from afar. If they say you're not learning this language, you say I'm trying, but also are you learning French? Let's say I know French, you also don't know French. Because there's one thing that a person knows, another knows. It's a work in progress. There are things that go in life. We all learn. We unlearn. So do not allow the pressure get into you. I think for me that's the thing. Do not allow the pressure get into you, because it's that pressure that you're going to forget to do the most important things. You're going to learn the language not because you want, but because you're in pressure. And
But I think, my love, I think you should learn the language.
no,
I think
I'm
for me
saying
that's
yes,
where
learn the language.
You
but
should learn. Don't do it for them.
Yeah.
Do it for you.
Yeah.
And
But
for your
me, I
well-being.
think baby is the pressure. I think
No,
that's
don't allow
why-
the pressure.
Yeah,
Don't.
I think the pressure.
At your own pace, but
At
show
your own
it.
pace,
Because
learn.
I've noticed also people, I have had conversations, and this one I'm going to say it's common with my people. They are intermarried, but the person says, I will not learn the language. They refuse intentionally. Okay, not just my people. Let me be fair. Not just Banyankoli, but not just people from the West, but even Central, even East. They refuse. So I think you need to check yourself and say honestly, even me.
But guys, as we conclude, intermarriages are good. It has worked for us. Wow. We keep learning very many things here.
Yeah.
Meet different people, different types of foods. There is love, guys. Love prevails. It's above all.
Find someone who doesn't give you a headache
Yes.
and don't let them go.
Yeah, so don't allow tribe affect your relationship or affect you would be potential wife or husband.
Yeah.
People are different, we are all wired differently, and we are created in God's image. I think that's what sound.
I ain't give you chicken.
I told you, baby.
Such I can eat.
So at least know, there are people who are out there who are amazing. For us here, we are. Maybe people talk about But I love your in-laws. They're nice. They've been nice to me.
There are some
They're
mean
so
ones.
sweet to me.
Okay, not me. But we have had a great experience with our
Immediate.
immediate in-laws, even extended ones. Some
Yes, yes,
aunties, uncles, all the, it's usually a neighbor of a friend
Yes.
that has a
Whose opinion does not matter? Whose opinion is of no consequence to your life? Again, I will repeat that. They don't
So yeah,
matter.
pick your battles, sure.
Pick your battle. If you don't like me, it's okay, man. My wife loves me. Isn't it? Yeah, I think that's what's important. You don't like me? Cool. My wife loves me.
Come on, guys. Let's finish here. I come for your chicken wings.
Guys, we love you.
Bye. Till
Bye-bye.
next time.
Till next
Much
time.
love.